Hello my crafty friends, we are back for the June installment of Through the Rainbow, and the color is green. Now I love green. It is one of my two favorite colors. I love green and blue, so naturally I'm going to have a lot. When I say a lot, I mean I have a lot, and we're going to do something different this month. I'm going to speed up this portion of me flipping through my papers, and I will do a voiceover for that part. Then I'll come back and I'll show you what I chose to do my layout, and then do my layout for you. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'm going to start again with it sped up, and I will be doing a voiceover. We are back, and I'm going to do something new for me. I'm doing a voiceover. What you're seeing is me flip through my green papers, and it's a little disorganized because during my unpacking process I placed them on the shelf wrong for my organization. That one was a thumbs down. That's leaving my inventory. So when I was taking things out of the boxes and putting them on the shelves, I haven't found this in any other category so far, but it definitely happened with the green. I typically like my papers when I walk up to the shelf for the color that I'm going to be selecting from to be facing to the left. And I had some of mine turned so that the color green was facing to the right, some of it was facing to the left. And so that's one of the things that I'm doing as I'm going through this process. Basic gray, once again, y'all know how I am with basic gray. I just put the entire collection in there. But anyway, so as I'm going through the paper, that's another task that I'm doing, is I'm turning it the direction that I want it to face. So I have a lot. Without a doubt, I have a lot of green paper. It is my favorite color, and I like so many of the shades of green. Every once in a while I'll run across a color that is just like that's jarring, and I don't appreciate it, but the majority of the green colors I really like. So I keep a lot of it on hand. I wished I used it as much as I buy it, but that's not the case. So this has become a goal for me, is to start pulling the paper that I love into the projects that I'm currently working on. And blue and green, those are the colors for me. This is crepe paper that we're looking at right now. This is old crepe paper. It was textured and thick. Oh my gosh, it was nice. Anyway, so blue and green are the colors that I really love. I love a lot of the different shades and tints of those colors. I buy a lot of it. I'm just drawn to it. I can't help it. However, the thing that I'm feeling challenged in is that I don't pull from it. And that is something that I need to change. I love this challenge because it is making me rethink how I'm using my supplies. And we've talked about this in other videos. Some of the other participants in this challenge, they're pulling from their color categories and from their whole room. They're from their embellishments, from their stickers, from their wood veneer, whatever. I'm only going through my paper. This one I did a thumbs up. I love that paper. Occasionally you'll see me go back through, and that's because I know I ran across that paper before, and I'm trying to find where it was so that I can stick the light papers together. I will do this occasionally as we're going through this paper. I love that one too. And that one is Lawn Fawn, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, you don't need to know that. Some of the paper that I'm purging is because it's super old, or it's thin, and it's just not my style anymore. Now, I've mentioned this in the past. If a paper is thin, that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like it or that I won't use it. I don't use thin paper for a background, but I will use thin paper. If it's thin and the design is iffy, then I will purge it, because I have plenty to choose from, as you can see. Having paper is not an issue. It's not a challenge. That paper, today, it doesn't look green to me, so it's going to be categorized differently. And once again, I'm just having to organize to the way that I work. And these are papers that are facing the wrong direction. I want every paper facing to the left, the green facing to the left. And that paper there, I had 4 sheets of. I'm going to purge 2 and keep 2. I don't need 4 of that. At some point in time in my life, I thought I did. I don't anymore. That's, once again, it's facing the wrong direction, and I'm just turning it to where it needs to be. These were from a Park Lane paper pad from Joann. And I have torn down that paper pad because I used quite a bit of it. And the rest of it I decided to put in the color category. Now, that is something that I do as well with my paper pads. As long as the paper pad is substantial and has a lot of paper in it, I won't tear it down. But especially if I love the majority of the paper in it. But as soon as I have used quite a bit of it and decide that I'm not going to use it in that way anymore, then I will tear it down and put it into color categories. And that is where I would say a good chunk of my color categorized paper has come from paper pads. I'm enjoying looking through this during the voiceover as much as if I were watching somebody else's video. I love to see people flip through their paper. I just do. These hearts, those are going to be categorized differently. I just decided that the multicolor element of that design is more usable to me than the green side. And we're trying to find the duplicates to this paper. It's a Jen Hadfield. And as with all of the color categories up to this date, I'm finding some paper in there that doesn't look green to me today. The day that I put it in, it looked green. And I think, now that I think about it, I think it's because the lighting is so different. I have made it a point that in my scrap room now, I have all daylight type bulbs. I just hit the camera. I'm so sorry. And in my house in Alabama, I did not have daylight light bulbs. And that makes a difference in how color appears. These are 8.5 by 11 pieces, old creative memory papers. We're not too far from the end of this paper. I just love seeing all of the different styles. It makes me want to there's certain ones when I see them, I just want to get in there and play with them. I love that inspiration, that moment of inspiration, and paper does it for me. I get inspired by paper always. I've been in a little bit of a creative slump lately, and going through a paper category typically helps me get out of a slump. I like that. It just inspires me. So I'm curious, what do you find that consistently inspires you? If you don't mind, just put that in the comments down below. I love knowing what inspires my friends. We are at the end. This music is the end. Okay, we're back, and I thought first I would show you the papers I took out because, well, they're not green. And these are they. Or I decided that I wanted to put them in a different location, and this is one of the ones that I want to put it in a different location. I think I will use the hearts more likely than I will use what I had chosen as green. This ledger, I will use that every day of the week faster than I will use this side. And this Bo Bunny paper, I will use this neutral way faster than I will use that, because this is really just kind of dated. So I like these papers. I'm keeping them. They're just going somewhere else. Now for the next little thing. These are all the papers that I'm purging. Now, to be fair, many of them are paper thin. I mean, they're really thin. They were from those paper pads that you could get like 180 sheets in them. And when I first started and I was scrapbooking with Creative Memories, and I was using Creative Memories albums, you know, thin paper was not, I didn't give it a second thought, because if I liked the design, I used it. Because the Creative Memory albums, they already had a page in there, and you just adhered to that page, and it was thick, and then you slipped on a slip cover, a page cover. But these now, they don't fit my style, and honestly, these are old Creative Memories papers. I remember them. So I'm just, you know, I'm just getting rid of them. Some of them, like this one, I kept one and I'm getting rid of, or maybe I kept two and I'm getting rid of two. That one, I'm getting rid of two and I kept two. This pearlescent one, it's a little too fancy for my style. And some of these are just too dark. I feel like Goldilocks sometimes, you know, it's too hot, too cold. This is too bright. It's just not. So these are what I'm getting rid of. Most of them are because they are just super, super thin. And I didn't count them, but I've probably got a 1/4 of an inch there. Maybe a 1/2 inch. Maybe a 1/2 inch that I'm purging. So I'm happy with that. I purged a lot more than I did with the yellow because I have a lot more. So now we're going to go through the papers that I'm going to use for my layout. So I pulled these out, and I don't know that I'll use them. They're not in the same family, so I won't use them together, but I just thought I might use something out of them. And whatever I don't use is getting purged of those 4. And then I got this one because I love, love, love this side way more than I love this side. And that's what I had put it in there for. And I found these 3 that are from For the Record by Echo Park. That is a much older collection. Let's see how old. 2011. So it's 11 years old, and I'm going to use this for my layout. So when I come back, we will have the bones of a layout, and I'll be right back. Let's finish this layout. So I did not use any of these. They are going to the purge. To the purge. Sounds like it's some kind of disease. I did not use this sheet For the Record And honestly, I think I like this side better. And I will put this, I will just cut it up and put it with my 6x6. These are my leftovers. So I used almost all of the border strip paper. And I cut a circle out of this and used half of the circle. I used this for my embellishments, and that's what's left. This is my layout. I was going for a more vintage feel, and I felt this lent to that feeling. These are photos of my oldest siblings. So this is Sherry, Jesse, and Brenda, and in front of this car is Sherry, Jesse, Brenda, and Victor. They are the 4 oldest siblings in my family. And these photos were taken because Victor is exactly 10, well, not exactly. He's 10 years older than I am, so I know, and he's not quite walking there. That would have been taken in 1962, and this one, since Brenda is a baby, would have been in maybe around 1960. I just, you know, I didn't intend to do a more heritage type layout or vintage, but I ran across these photos, and you know, they just immediately brought happiness to me. My siblings are definitely the best part of being in a large family. I adore my siblings. So I am going to leave it at that. This is my green layout for Through the Rainbow. And we will meet back here next month for July, and we will talk about blue. Down below, check out all the links for each of the participants and enjoy all of the layouts that are being shared. If you want to see even more, come over to the Crafty Low and No Spend group and enjoy what's being created there. Thank you for watching. We will talk again soon. Bye-bye.